Okay, here we are. We're live. We're not ready, but we're live. Here on Hawaii, the state of clean energy. And we're talking about hydrogen at the summit, but actually we may redirect that a little bit because our principal guest is Matt Laudon, and he is with the Energy Summit that's going to begin, what, on the 15th, right?
That's right, yeah, on Monday.
Very exciting. And we're loaded with hosts today. We got 3 hosts, and poor Matt. You're in trouble, Matt. We got Sharon Moriwaki to my left. She's the one in the red dress.
Aloha.
And we got Ray Starling to her left. He's the one in the blue shirt. And this is Hawaii, the state of clean energy, celebrating clean energy every single Wednesday, and more. And come to, when we started this out, it all seemed to be so simple. Let's just build clean energy. Oh, that was so simple. And everybody was on the same page, pretty much. Nobody would disagree. There were no, fancy issues. Technology seemed pretty straightforward. Now look what happened. There's an issue about everything. Anyway, Matt, you're going to cover all that in the show, right? The summit next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 15th, 16th, and 17th. Very exciting. At the convention center, right? And you're about to fly in, right? How does it feel? How do you feel?
Oh, I feel great. I'm looking forward to getting out there. And yeah, at an event, we like controversy. So all those problems that you're talking about, we've stuffed into those 3 days. So everybody can get there and have their opinion. At least that's the goal.
Well, the thing about it is, that when you guys started doing this with DBED 5 years ago or so,
yeah,
and at the time, it was energy was local, clean energy was local.